Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm answering questions that Google are going to tell me. And I'm looking at just search terms that people have been searching for. I'll use certain buzzwords like Blu-ray, DVD, 4K Blu-ray, and we'll see what comes up and I'll try and answer them best as I can. So let's get started. Let's put the mic, we don't want to put the mic back too far. I still want you to hear me, obviously. Okay, so I've typed in do DVDs already. So let's see what comes up. Do DVDs work on PS5? They do. I've tried a DVD on there. It works. I don't know if all DVDs work. Obviously, if it's region locked, you have to go off country by country. It's not an unlocked DVD Blu-ray player, so you'd have to go on your country code. But obviously, they do work. Same with PS4. Do DVDs last forever? That is an interesting question. They can definitely last a very long time if you look after them, but DVD rot will come into play eventually, and also, are they going to get scratched? If you look after them really well, there's a potential they could last as long as you want them to. But, everything has a shelf life. We don't know the exact shelf life of DVDs yet because, well, let's put it this way. There are DVDs from the 90s that still work and have been looked after. So if DVDs from the 90s can still work, who knows what the shelf life for DVDs overall is. Now, obviously, there's been Blu-rays that claim to have 100-year lifespans, and I think that's just the base number. Like, it can last as long as you look after them. Do DVDs still sell? Yes, they still sell very well. Obviously not as well as, like, you see a lot of stores backing out of physical media. And the reason for that is because they don't sell as well as they used to. Like, you might sell one or two, maybe a couple dozen each day. But, a place like Best Buy where they could replace that with like a best betting section or something, and betting will sell a lot quicker than Blu-rays and DVDs. I can understand stores getting out of it. Obviously, store space is... They have to make sure that every bit of store space is selling, essentially. So they still sell, but it's more of a niche. And, niche things like Kino Lorber and like Arrow Video and so on, and even stuff in Australia like Umbrella, they do well on DVD. Like, it's because it depends on the content on the DVD that someone wants to buy it. It's not necessarily, like, people are not going to run out and buy a DVD of, I don't know, some random movie that was a C-list, D-list, like the bargain bin ones. I don't know if people are going to run out and buy those in this day and age. But, people might go out and buy a copy of A Nightmare on Elm Street on VHS, or, not that that's available in stores, but like maybe you see that in a store of Nightmare on Elm Street on DVD. Maybe that's something someone picks up. That's what I mean. Like, it's going to become a lot more niche, but yes, they are definitely still selling. DVD is still the leader in physical media last time I looked. I don't know if that's still the case. I know Blu-ray was catching up on it, but last time I looked, it was about 9. I don't know the exact percentage, but I know that DVD was significantly ahead. Do DVDs still have region codes? It depends. I mean, there are some labels that don't put region codes on it. I know that there are some instances where I can put a Arrow DVD in my Blu-ray player in Australian locked Blu-ray player and play it. But it's case by case, really, and in most cases, yes, region locking is still occurring on DVD. Do DVDs sell on eBay? Yes, they do. But what you'll find is selling. You're not going to just list, as I said, you're not going to just list some bargain bin DVD on eBay and make a huge profit of it. The ones selling on eBay are the collector's ones, like the ones that everyone wants and like that you can't get. Like, wrestling does really well on there. Wrestling does really well on eBay because wrestling media, as the networks become a thing, people want the older versions with the correct copyrighted music, the correct so on, Let's have a look. Do DVDs have a shelf life? That's kind of the same as do they last forever? So they definitely do have a shelf life. We don't know what that is yet, though. Do DVDs have any value? To the collector, yes, and also in terms of money, yes, they do, depending on which one you have. Do DVDs degrade over time? Yes, they do. And this is where disc rot comes in. Obviously, you see disc rot on a lot of things from that era. Let's type in do Blu-ray. Do Blu-rays have regions? Yes, they do. It's mostly like region A, B, C, D, and I think there's a region E. I'm not 100% sure, but I know there's A, B, C at least. There's three main regions. I don't know if there is a D and an E, but there are three main regions that I can think of, A, B, and C, and I believe I'm in region B, if I'm correct, which is Australia. Let's have a look if that's region B. Yeah, region B. So they still do have regions. This one was it, by the way. Do Blu-rays play DVDs? I think you mean, do Blu-ray players play DVDs? Which, yeah, they do. It's backwards compatible. Do Blu-rays work on PS5? They do. Obviously, you need to make sure the region code matches up to your player or your PlayStation, but they do work. And make sure you have a disk drive as well, obviously. Do Blu-rays have... why is my nose so itchy today? Okay. Do Blu-rays have HDR? No, they have SDR, so it's standard dynamic range. High dynamic range is more seen on 4K Blu-rays. And while there might be some that were mastered to pseudo HDR transfer, it's not necessarily going to be translated on the Blu-ray copy. There's just not enough space to work with and data to work with. So, you know, that's more unique to 4K Blu-ray. Do Blu-rays work on a PS4? Yes. Do Blu-rays have Dolby Vision? No. Do Blu-rays last forever? Same as DVDs. Look after them. Eventually, they will have a shelf life. We don't know exactly what that is yet, but as long as you look after them, they should last as long as you potentially can get out of them. But we don't know what the shelf life is yet. They're still relatively new in this day and age. I mean, look, they feel old to us now because they've been around for a decade, but Blu-rays started appearing as far back as 2008. Or 2000, even earlier than that, 2006, 2007. But in Australia, we really started seeing them in the rental shops like Video Easy and Blockbuster around 2007, 2008. Now, obviously, that's not too new of a format, but, 2 decades, we're not really going to have an accurate look at how long these things are going to last. We have to look at these in like 3 or 4 decades like vinyl and say, are they holding up like vinyl? Are they not holding up like even Betamax and VHS? How do those hold up after decades? We're going to have to do that in a few more decades, so we don't know an exact shelf life, but theoretically I'd say they can last as long as you look after them. Do Blu-ray scratch? Yes, they do. And it's a misconception that they don't. Now, obviously, it's a lot harder to scratch a Blu-ray, but it's possible. I've seen it done. I've watched people, and it's hurt me to watch them, but I've watched people scratch just to do the scratch test, and I've watched it. And yes, there is a way that it's all about how much protective layering was put on the Blu-ray. Now, there are shops like CEX and so forth that have machines that can remove almost the top layer of that and make sure that the scratches aren't affecting the layers underneath the ones you would play. But those are expensive machines, and I would say that they do scratch. And this is why, if you're buying on the secondhand market, you need to check that you're getting what is essentially a copy that's not scratched. Now, I'm also a big fan of if something feels like it's in the case moving around, like you got the disc loose in there, I'll probably avoid buying that copy, even if it's at JB Hi-Fi or whatever. I'll typically avoid that because I don't know what I'm going to get, and it's sealed away. And my nose is so itchy, but yeah, I would steer clear of stuff that I don't know what I'm getting. Do Blu-rays still sell? Yes, they do. They don't do as well as DVD, I don't believe, but they still sell a lot as well. And, while streaming, they're not up to streaming and like not able to compete with streaming, they're definitely respectable for what they offer and what they are. Do Blu-rays have better sound? Oh god, this is gonna be a hard one to answer. It depends on what you're getting. Now, I don't want to get into too much about. I don't want to go too far off topic, but there is a Laserdisc version of Jurassic Park out there that collectors say is superior to even the 4K restoration and transfer of Jurassic Park. And it's because it's got DTS sound. It's got the original DTS sound on it. Now, not every Laserdisc has that. Some have THX sound. But obviously with Jurassic Park, DTS would have been almost what they played in the cinema. and that has been remastered over time. That has become DTS HD, so on. And, essentially people still prefer the Laserdisc because they say it is superior. And from what I've heard from clips I've seen on YouTube and people uploading as close as possible to the Laserdisc as possible, it is superior from what I've heard. Now, obviously, Blu-rays in a lot of cases offer a better experience. They offer some Dolby capabilities, maybe even Dolby Atmos, but it's not all Blu-rays that do that. You have to go on a case-by-case basis, and especially with older movies that were maybe shot on optical, you're not going to, what's the word for it? You're not going to necessarily hear a difference, if that makes sense. Like something like Casablanca, optical sound would have been stored for 70, 80 odd years, so essentially all you're getting is the optical. And maybe AI could maybe fix that at some point in the future, but I'm a bit skeptical of don't trust AI with stuff like that. Just leave the audio as it is. With something like Dragon Ball Z, for example, the Dragon boxes have really bad Japanese audio because it was stored on optical. And people have now found and restored online the original broadcast audio from VHS tapes that people recorded from Tokyo Tower. So we have got I think it's fully restored now online. We're just waiting for Chris Sabat or whoever. It's been merged with Sony now, so I don't know how much power Chris Sabat has in that space now, but every Dragon Ball fan is just waiting for the original broadcast audio to be synced back up to the new releases, and we'll get it out. Like this one from France of Dragon Ball, this one did the task and said, okay, we're going to put the broadcast audio that was found for Dragon Ball, sync it up to the episodes, and put out this box set. And that's why I own this. This has the original broadcast audio for Dragon Ball that was found off Tokyo Tower tapes. And obviously, it doesn't have subtitles. So with a lot of these international releases, it kind of annoys me that they don't do subtitles. But for what it is, I bought that. I wanted that day one. Like I said to my people who import it for me, I said, I want this, get it for me, I'll pay you whatever. Like, I needed to have it. That's what I mean, case-by-case basis. Let's look up some Laserdisc. Laserdisc doesn't get enough love. Laserdisc. Do Laserdiscs have any value? Depends what you have. If you have Star Wars on Laserdisc, it's obviously going to sell because people prefer that. It depends what you have, really. Obviously, it's a big case, like I've showed off many times on this channel. I have True Lies on Laserdisc, and that I had it here when I did the review. It depends. Like, that might have a bit of value because it's got a big picture of Arnie on the front, and it is a movie. A lot of people don't have Laserdisc players, so it may not hold so much value, but I'm sure it still holds value. Do Laserdiscs go bad? Ooh, yeah. To quote Randy Savage, ooh, yeah. Dig it. That was a terrible impression. But yes, Laserdiscs do go bad. There is a lot of disc rot in Laserdisc, because you have to think, this is the optical format that predated DVDs. So if early DVDs have disc rot, I mean, obviously the layers of Laserdiscs are a lot bigger. I've showed them before. And, air can get between the layers and rot it. So essentially, yes, Laserdiscs do go bad, and we do know that the shelf life of Laserdiscs, most Laserdiscs are going to last as long as you look after them. But yes, Laserdiscs do go bad. Do Laserdiscs still exist? Yes and no. Laserdiscs in the big 12-inch form, no. But they evolved. They evolved into DVDs and so on. But it's also digital versus analog. So in the analog format, no, they don't exist in that way. But DVD is basically the next logical evolution of Laserdisc. So it shrunk it down, made it digital, and put it on a smaller disc. Obviously, people prefer Laserdisc. Some people prefer DVD. There's nothing wrong with that. People prefer streaming. But yes, Laserdiscs evolved. They don't exist like they did, but they definitely evolved. How do Laserdiscs work? Same way DVDs do. You put it in your player, watch it, and I don't know how else to say it. They work the same way as you would with a DVD, and they're the footprint of vinyl. But yes, how much do Laserdiscs sell for? I typically bought a lot of mine for $10 a piece, and people might say that's expensive, and I was like, you know what? I did it for like almost a year, and that is when I had my collection. I had about 150, and I was like, you know what, that's enough for me. I don't need any more. It's just more of a, I wanted to experience the format, and I was willing to pay for that format. And there was some, I didn't pay $10 each of them. Like there was some deals I got on eBay that one came with a player, and I got like, I don't know, 20 or 30 Laserdiscs with it, and it only cost me like, I think 200. But you know, you look for deals with these things. But yes, I find they typically sell for about $10 depending on what people want. Sometimes 20 if they merge postage into it, but around that price point, $10 to $20 I find. And my nose is so itchy, so sorry if I keep touching my nose in this video, but it's really itchy. I don't know if I'm getting something or coming down with something, but I don't know if I've been coughing too much, but I definitely felt something a bit off last night, so I'm definitely aware I'm touching my nose a lot in this video, and sorry if I'm doing it. Is Laserdisc worth it? Depends how you want to experience it. If you just want a big cover of your favorite movie, yes, it's worth it. If you're doing it to play and say this is better than DVD or Blu-ray, no, it's not worth it. But it depends how you want to experience it. Some people will also say, no, I want to experience it like that way. I want to have it on a CRT TV, a Laserdisc player, and I want that. Then in that case, it is worth it. It depends on the individual if it's worth it to you. What is a Laserdisc? It is a big optical format, like a big disc optical format, similar to DVD, that was analog. And what I mean by analog is that if the disc did get scratched, it would still play. It would obviously mess up a little bit over that scene, but it would play. It would keep playing. Like I had the first time I watched Young Frankenstein, and this was only about a year ago. Sorry, it was one of those movies I wanted to always get around to, but I never had the time to. And eventually I did watch it. I watched it on Laserdisc because I was like, you know what? If I'm going to watch this now, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to have an older experience and watch it the old school way on Laserdisc. And there was a scene where, towards the end of the movie, where the outer Laserdisc was a bit scratched, and I thought it was going to like stutter or like completely freeze like DVD does. No, it kept playing. It just went a bit distorted for a bit. Like that's the thing. It is an analog format. Let's see. Is Laserdisc digital? No, it's analog. How did Laserdisc work? I think I've mentioned that. It's kind of similar to DVD, but, you know, there'll be channels that can go more in depth about taking the player apart and show you how it works. What's his name? There's a dude on here who reviews older tech. He might have a few videos up. I forget his name. Is it Tech Rex or Tech something? But he's from the UK, but he does all these things. He like takes apart. He did the video about like the little portable players that you put tapes in, and like not Walkmans. We all know Walkmans, but like this niche format. Like it had like Miley Cyrus or whatever, and he put it in there. I'm talking about that guy. I forget what his channel is called, but he might have a few videos of showing a bit more in depth of how a Laserdisc works. When did Laserdisc stop? That is actually a good question. Let's find out when Laserdisc stopped. Last Laserdisc. I know they were still coming out in 2000 because the Matrix is a popular one. Last Laserdisc player made? So Pioneer was still making Laserdisc players until January 2009. Wow. Last Laserdisc made. Let's find out the last movie that came out on Laserdisc. The last known Laserdisc title is Onto Station Volume 1018, a karaoke disc released on March 21st, 2007. Production of Laserdisc players ended in July 2009 when Pioneer stopped making them. So there you go. 2007 for movies and production of the discs. 2009 for the players. And what was the last notable? Like, let's find out. Last Laserdisc made movie. The last title released in North America was Paramount's Bring Out the Dead on October 3rd, 2000. Films continued to be released in Japan until September 21, 2001, with the last Japanese movie released being the Hong Kong film Tokyo Raiders from Golden Harvest. So there you go. That's referencing Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt. Let's look up HD DVD. Do HD DVD really great English? Does HD DVD. Basically all the same questions. Does it still exist? No. Does it play on Blu-ray players? No. They are different formats. They compete with each other. Does HD DVD play on DVD player? No. It was competing with Blu-ray, so it's a similar experience of if you couldn't play a Blu-ray on a DVD player, HD DVD will work the same way, but you'll need a player that can play HD DVD. Does it work on PS3? No. There was an extension for the Xbox that you could buy, but PS3 was Blu-ray. They adopted the Blu-ray. Sony was backing Blu-ray, so that is their technology. What does HD DVD mean? High definition DVD, digital video disc, or digital. I know the DVDs. Is it digital video disc, or does it actually stand for something else? I feel like I've heard that it actually stood for something else. Digital versatile disc or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, people will understand what I mean. You know what? It's not enough about HD DVD. Let's look up why do physical media. Why is physical media dying? Streaming. It's more convenient for people to have every movie they can ever imagine at their fingertips, rather than have to go out and purchase it and put it in a player and buy a player. And obviously the space this takes up, it's space as well. We live in a rental housing cost of living crisis, and this isn't justifiable to a lot of people. So that's why it's dying. There is a format that has replaced it, which is streaming, and most people are happy, even with the lower quality, to just take streaming. It's like, it's preference, and people have moved on to the new formats, which is streaming. Why is physical media important? Because it's a safeguard against studio changes. It's quality. You're getting better quality. You're getting better video. It's higher bit rates. And as I mentioned, like, you don't know if a studio is going to erase it, if it's going to be available on streaming. You don't know what version of it you're getting. Like, obviously, music might be copyright, like licensing may have expired. It's like with wrestling. Like, I have a lot of DVDs in my wrestling collection because the music has been changed to certain things. Like, even as far back as WrestleMania 20, which was the first pay-per-view I ever watched. When I mentioned this in my WrestleMania 20 video, they changed the themes of Victoria, so all the things she said, it was on the actual broadcast, which I have of main event that I recorded, and then they switched it from there to the DVD. So between the actual broadcast and the DVD coming out, they had lost the rights to all the things she said for Victoria. The same thing was said for the Dudley Boys, Drop the Bombshell. That was also another thing of another instance of them changing a theme. WrestleMania 20, they used that theme. And on the DVD, they changed it to the sorry if I sound like crap doing that, but you know the thing I'm talking about. The one they used for decades. So what are we up to? What does physical media mean? Basically, a physical representation of whatever. So it's like, might be DVD, might be Blu-ray, might be 4K, might be Laserdisc, might be HD DVD. But it's a physical representation that isn't housed on a server or a hard drive. And yes, you might say, but these are just digital. These are just digital copies as well. This is a digital format. It is housed on a disc. But what it means is, physical media is typically seen as a disc associated with it. In large part, that's what people would associate the term physical media with, a disc or a DVD. Most people would just say DVD. What does physical media format mean? Well, obviously formats are different. Like, Blu-ray is a different format to DVD. 4K Blu-ray is a different format to Blu-ray. And what that means is basically, like, you might get a different experience. It might be a higher bitrate. It might be, when I say bitrate, it might be higher playing speed or whatever. Like, what people, I mean, it's not frames per second, but it's like, it might offer 60 megabits or something, over where streaming might offer 25, you know. So formats, when we talk about formats, we talk about like Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, and it's mostly like the format of the release you're talking about. So if you're talking about Blu-ray, that's the Blu-ray format I'm talking about. If it's DVD, I'm talking about DVD as a format. And yeah, that's basically format. What is physical media? That's self-explanatory. Physical media is what I just mentioned. What is physical media in computer networking? Physical media and networking. I mean, you could have floppy disks, and I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know enough about that. What is physical media transfer? Are you talking about physical media transfers? So what that means is when people talk about the new transfer, they'll be talking about, okay, Terminator 2's had a transfer to 4K, and the transfer is a bit off, meaning, okay, it's been updated for that new format. It's basically an update. The transfer is an update. And what it is, okay, Blu-ray looked better. Why did Blu-ray look better? Because it was an older transfer, meaning it's an older copy of what was put out. And obviously you have the new copy of Terminator 2, which is being put out, but it's a new transfer, meaning cameras went back, done stuff to it, and it's a new representation of what was there. So that, when we talk about transfers, that is what transfers mean on terms of the physical media space. What are some other terms? I'm going to try to go for about another 4 minutes. We'll try to end at about 30 minutes. So I'm going to search for another couple of things. We haven't done a lot about CDs, but I want to find something. Why do physical media? Why do physical media collectors? Let's see, what have we got here? Let's see if I can find some questions. No, we don't want to look at articles. Oh wow, my videos are showing up in the algorithm. Things physical media collectors are constantly told. YouTube is shipping me, yay! And yes, this video is a bit later. I'm going to be posting this one a bit later, but the fact that the the Google algorithm is showing me on Google searches, awesome guys, that is amazing. And you'll notice that ads have started showing up in my videos because I have monetized this channel, and the reason for that is because I want to invest more in the channel, and if I can put ads on it, and then that will pay for a lighting setup or a new camera, or something that makes the quality more appealing, I'll do that. And yes, I know it's not going to be, people are not going to agree with the monetization, and I get that. But for me, I think it was the right move, and I think that long term, I think that monetization will help the channel greatly. And obviously, the sky's the limit, but mostly I'm just saying it, if I get like $100 or whatever off monetization, I don't know how much I'm going to earn off this thing, but like, if I get like $100 a month off that thing, or even $10 a month, I don't care, but like, that might be a purchase. That might be $10 towards like getting a new 4K Blu-ray, and maybe I can talk about that and review that. Like, it's more investment in the channel, and I'm looking at that as an investment, like money coming into the channel that will obviously go back into the channel. I'm not necessarily taking and saying, I'm going to get rich off YouTube. The channel was never about getting rich off YouTube. It was about connecting community, and any money I make off it was going to be about connecting back to the community. So yeah, that's my view on monetization. I know everyone's not going to like it, but look, sorry, I'm going to do it for the time being, and I believe it is the right call because it is going to mean that I can offer a better quality on these videos. And I can fix the sound, because I'm trying to fix the sound on this microphone. The Rode receiver there is telling me that it's got good volume levels. And then when I test it back on my iPhone, it is showing the good levels as well. But something is happening between where I have it on my phone and upload it to YouTube, where the audio is getting put off for some reason and dulling itself. And I am looking at fixes, but the guys who keep mentioning that the mic is off in the comments, I am aware of it. I'm definitely aware that something weird is going on, because I watch back all my videos. And you might say, that's a bit narcissistic. Why would you go back and watch your own videos? Well, A, how can I expect people to have the best experience with my videos if I'm not watching the things myself? And B, why would I not watch my own videos? I mean, I want to take little dot points away from what I've done and learn from how I've presented certain things. Like, obviously today I have stuttered a lot less. I haven't said and went off on rants a bit less. But it's because I am learning from watching back my old videos. What works, what doesn't? How have I grown? How am I not growing? What do I need to do better? Like when I did the Jessica Malboy video, I had dot points on my Surface Go, which is in the corner there. And I was going off dot points because I know I tend to rant. So, little things like that. You learn that from watching your own videos back, and that's why it's essential to watch your own videos back. Now, the bigger YouTubers will say, don't do it. I am a fan of doing it because I need to grow as an individual, and I need to know that the experience that my viewers are getting is the best possible experience I can offer them. And the only way to do that is to watch the video with all my fans and figure out what works, what doesn't, and then read the comments. And, you know, people say, don't read the comments. Eventually there's going to be a time where I can't get to every comment, and that's already happening on some videos that have like 200-300 comments. But like, I try to read the comments where I can, because it is essential to me to grow as a creator and a YouTuber, to know what my fans are saying and where the issues are and what can work, what doesn't, what I could do better, what doesn't work, you know, so on. I want to find one more question to end on, but we're going to quickly Google something. I'm going to say, ask Blu-ray collector. Let's end on a... Okay, I think I found the question to end on. I think I found a really good question to end on, and I'm going to turn the iPad off now because I'm going to end on this question. We'll put that in the corner over there, out of frame. We'll bring this back to the center. And the question is physical media being phased out? Yes, it is. And I believe we may have another 10 years out of it. And when I say we get another 10 years out of it, it doesn't mean that it's not going to come out anymore and you're not going to be able to get players and all this other stuff. It means that the mainstream, you probably won't see a player in the new PlayStation 6 when that comes out, or 7. You're not going to see support for this. Like, the same thing happened with floppy disks for computers. It was phased out. And USB has become the prominent format now, but, you know, you could still find a floppy disk drive if you look hard enough. You can find those still around. They're obviously going to cost a bit, but you know what I mean? You can still get them. They're still technically supported by the OS, but essentially they've been not supported anymore. And yeah, eventually the Blu-ray collection here, I mean, everyone's saying, oh, well, you know, DVD players are starting to go away and Blu-ray players are starting to go away. That's the truth. Without a player, you're not going to be able to watch it. But there is a way around it, which is buy a player before they go extinct, obviously, but then, you know, capacitors could leak. There's a lot of variables with that. So yeah, you could buy 10 different players now. You buy the UBA 10 times or whatever, store them in a climate-controlled thing, but even unopened PlayStations from back in the day, like, have capacitors that leak. So just know that there is ability for players to break. But in terms of support, yes, physical media is going away, but it's going to become more niche. So what do I mean by that? Like, you're probably not going to be able... Like, Kmart in Australia, it's already basically went away from all the major retailers, except for JB Hi-Fi. Like, Big W have a very small selection of DVDs. That I don't even remember the last time I seen a Blu-ray in Big W. I think they carried Blu-rays till about a year or two ago. Now, they still have some 4Ks in there. Don't get me wrong, they're still releasing 4Ks, and they might have the occasional Blu-ray beside it. But they're focusing hard on DVD, because at this point, DVD is selling, and Blu-rays and 4Ks, people can't justify the cost when the DVD copy costs $5. So it's going away. Kmart went away from it a long time ago. Target as well, they have a small selection, but it's mostly DVDs, and it's mostly like the $5 range that like might have a Disney movie here and there, but Target have got out of it. JB Hi-Fi are going big on it, so they've still got sections, but I've watched JB Hi-Fi slowly shrink their selection of what they offer, so that's slowly going away. The only one that really is like secondhand market, like CEX, is still there, but I've noticed that CEX are starting to reduce the size of their DVD collection. But in saying that, I've watched stuff like Salvation Army have a selection open up, and they grow, because as more people and more of these organizations get out of that physical media space, more people are going to go towards the donation route and say, okay, well, we can't offload these things, so let's just donate them to the salvos. It'll be a tax write-off, and that'll be good enough for us. And that'll work for people. That'll be a tax write-off for the companies, and it will mean that the salvos or whoever, St. Vinny's or whatever, I don't know if St. Vinny's carry too many. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But, you know, donation organizations will obviously reap the benefits of that. And I'm going to end this video there, because we've went for 35 minutes and I promised I wasn't going to rant. So, yes. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. As I mentioned, it is now monetized, and you will be seeing ads. Maybe watch the ads; they do help, I guess. And you know, I'm hoping they don't put huge amounts of ads in my videos. If it becomes a problem, I may have to look at it. But I mean, there are ways around it. I mean, YouTube Premium, obviously, it's a bit expensive, but you know, that is one way around it. But I can't necessarily say there are any other ways around it. But you know, it helps me if you watch them. And you know, any money I get out of the channel, I'm going to put back into the channel. And I'm thinking about lights for the bookcases, like put under here and like shine up at the bookcase to give it a bit of a backdrop. But I don't really want to go that route. I definitely need to get a light for this camera because I've got lights in the ceiling that work well. But I am looking at always doing investment in this channel, and that is where I'm at. I'll get a better tripod so that it doesn't always look crooked. But, you know, eventually I am going to start investing more into this channel. I have already started investing, like obviously the Rode mic here. Let's just take that off. Let's just bring it out here. So yeah, this Rode mic here, this was one of the first investments I made into the channel, and this was like $300 something. And yes, I could have got the $400 one that came with the extra microphone, but to me, one was good enough. And yeah, that's what it looks like, guys. And it's one. There is one hooked up to the camera, the iPhone as well. So that's one going directly into the iPhone. But yeah, let's put this back on, even though it's got 2 guards on it. But, you know, thanks for supporting the channel. And why my nose is so itchy today, because I don't know if I'm coming down with something. But yeah, thanks for supporting the channel. And thanks for getting me to however many subscribers I'm at now. By the time I post this, at the time of recording this video, I'm at about 1,800 subscribers, which is actually kind of good. Or I think it was like 17. My nose is so itchy. I don't know what's going on, guys. But yes, I think I was at about 1,700 subscribers this morning. So, you know, or like a bit over 1,700. So it might be 1,800. By the time I post this, I'm probably even way more. But, you know, you guys know the deal by now. I record these things way in advance so that even if I get sick or like I go down for a couple of days, you guys always have new content to watch. And that is the way I'm thinking about it. I always want to make sure that my fans, the people who watch this channel, have something to watch. And that's why I release daily, because I feel like daily, it doesn't cost too much of my time. It's like, and yes, I limit editing, so that's how I managed to do it daily. Like a lot of people put deeper edits, and I will look at doing deeper edit videos, like explainer videos eventually, but there are certain things that I'm looking at doing better, and I think that that'll come later on. Right now, I'm focused on the content, my fans, and obviously monetization would be nice. It's come now. But I'm more or less focused on the fans who put me here and the fans who support me and making sure they have the best possible experience and get the most information out of my videos, because I'm obviously trying not to rant. And yeah, my fans, I'm hoping will support me, continue to support me. But yes, thank you for watching this one. I've went for 38 minutes now, and I think I'm going to end it there because, yeah, it is becoming a bit of a rant. So yes, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, notify, comment. Tell me ask me some questions in the description. And I know some of my fans were saying use the community tab to ask this sort of stuff, but I prefer my community tab is the comments. That is where I go. That is where I try to interact with my fans. And even if I can't reply to all comments, I'm there. I am reading as much as possible when I can. So yes, thank you for the continued support, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. I don't want to drop the mic.